I'm Richard Wilson with King County's Developmental Disabilities Division. I manage the School to Work program, and our division is part of King County's Department of Community and Human Services. This short video is about the King County School to Work program. Like the other videos in this series, the idea behind this one is to provide a very broad overview. It doesn't replace a full orientation of the School to Work program, which I provide at our annual transition resource fairs and many school-hosted parent gatherings. My goal in this video is to leave you with an understanding of the purpose of the program, basic eligibility and timeline to access it, as well as resources for more information. While you could start with any video in this series, including this one, I encourage you to view this one last. Having watched the other videos, it should be easier to understand how the School to Work program fits in the big picture, and it should help better guide your decision-making and next steps. So the School to Work program began in the 2005-2006 school year as a way to address a service gap that had developed between school transition programs for 18 to 21-year-olds and adult services. Since adult services are not an entitlement, that means they're not required to be available, and also because our adult service systems are so complicated, families found themselves confused over what to do and frustrated about the lack of services after school ended. No longer in school, former students began losing their skills and motivation, were getting into the community less and less, and at best, taking years to gain employment. Many families found themselves in crisis. Seeing that, King County developed the School to Work program to address that service gap by helping students gain access to an adult-style employment service while they're still part of their school transition program. In practice, the program has been successful in connecting students to employment service agencies and hence employment services during their last year in school, a year ahead of what was possible prior to 2005-2006. Through a team approach, both on a funding level and with the provision of direct employment services for students, the program has been very successful in helping students leave school with a job in the community. At the time of this video, over 450 students have gained long-term jobs in the community as a result of participating in the School to Work program. So who is eligible for the School to Work program, and how does your student enroll? Probably the easiest way to understand this is by using the checklist I've included on this website. It's on the PDF document titled Adult Employment System Agencies and Checklist. Please download it if you haven't done so already. This checklist may be one of the most valuable references you can use to stay on track in seeking services. You'll find that it's similar to other checklists developed by the state and other partners involved in transition. While each item on it is important, the most critical eligibility requirement for being in King County School to Work is that your student is enrolled in the Developmental Disabilities Administration. No matter the age of your student, the first thing you need to do is either confirm you're enrolled and current with DDA or apply if you are not. The sooner you can do this, the better. It can take time to make sure this piece is in place. DDA's number is on the checklist. More information about DDA and how to contact them is included in the DDA video in the series. An important thing to know is that your student only needs to be enrolled in DDA and does not need to be receiving service or have a case manager to be in School to Work. Another very critical fact to keep in mind, students need to stay in school through their 21st year to access the School to Work program. That's the year they participate in School to Work. Most students now start receiving employment services the summer prior to returning to their 21st and last year of school. In the spring before those services begin, you need to apply to DVR, meet with employment service agencies, and agree to a service start date with one of them. Please see the video on DVR, and I briefly explain employment services in the Introduction, Employment, and Funding video in this series. We include contact information employment service agencies on this website, as well as some tips for meeting with these agencies and securing services. You'll see on the checklist that students need to obtain a Washington State ID. We recommend that at age 16, and they should apply for Social Security benefits at age 18. We have another video in this series that explains why applying for Social Security benefits is so important. So again, this video is just an overview of the School to Work program. The good news is that there are many opportunities to learn more about the program and all things related to successful transition. Regarding School to Work, draw from the information on this website and the King County School to Work website. The program works throughout King County with all school districts, so talk with your teachers and other families who've had students go through the program. Attend our annual transition resource fairs. Many families will share that they attend multiple years to gather and learn the great deal of information needed for successful transition. Since you're at this website and you're looking at this video series, you know that there is much information to understand. Recognize that no one learns it all and no one learns what they need to know all at once. So a good strategy is to start now and figure out your next step. Once you have that done, figure out your next step. So to summarize the key points that I hope I've left you with, the School to Work program is all about helping students gain employment, which is a key component to building a quality life after school and obtaining adult services. The biggest piece of eligibility is enrollment in DDA, and remember to use the School to Work or other similar checklists as a guide to seeking services and positioning your student for successful transition. Thanks for looking into this series. All of us who have worked on it hope that you find the information helpful.